Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be talking about some severe weather that been going across the several points and eventually getting into the Laurel Hall Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and portions of the South tomorrow. We're also going to be talking about a potential for a major winter storm that could happen across the Hall Valley. We'll be talking about that, but first let's take a look into the SPC Severe Weather Outlook here. We do have a slight risk for severe weather across pretty much northern Oklahoma there. Kind of goes along the Kansas border as well. Even for the far northeastern tip of the Texas panhandle there as well. Meanwhile, there's a marginal risk of severe weather over across most of Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, northeastern Texas, southern Missouri, and also southern Kansas as well. The tornado threat is there. There's a 5% chance across northwestern Oklahoma for places like Woodward, Weatherford, Oklahoma, and Clinton as well. Meanwhile, we got a pretty large 2% area across most of Oklahoma and eventually extending southeast into portions of the Arlington region. Damaging winds will likely be there for some of those thunderstorms. There could also be some very large hail, especially across northwestern Oklahoma there as well, and portions of the Texas Panhandle, where we got a very cold air aloft, around 500 millibars. It's very cold up there, so when those storms get that high, you could see some very large hail up there as well. So let's take a look at some models here. So this is the HERT. It's currently updating right now, but this is your simulated reflectivity. You can see here supercells will likely blow up around 20Z, so that would be in about 2 hours from now. So that's about 4 o'clock in Central Time. You can see supercells start to blow up across western Oklahoma, and eventually, though, most of these storms here will be joining forces to create a line of storms which could produce some damaging winds. That'll be moving northeastward. So even trying to pick up a supercell across southeastern Oklahoma there, which is quite interesting there. And that'll be continuing to move to the east there, bringing the severe threat across further east. There, excuse me, there as well. Let's take a look into the superset composite values here. You can see here, those numbers will definitely get decently high later today. See, as high as at 11, but keep in mind, there's actually a cap across southern Oklahoma there around that time, which I cannot show you guys the soundings for from the HER model, but the last time I checked, there's a cap going on across south central Oklahoma around this time. But it should start to break later in the evening into the nighttime hours as well. So just to keep in mind of that. The significant tornado parameters. You can see here the numbers are quite high, but keep in mind there's a cap across most of these regions. Your severe threat's actually going to be across northern Oklahoma, so numbers are not as high as across southern Oklahoma. So that's some good news there that we will have some capping going on there. The instability values will definitely be there. Cape, really between about 1,000 to some areas could be reaching over 2,000 Cape, which is a decent amount of Cape there, and that definitely be favorable for some severe weather. And for damaging winds, hail there as well. Let's take a look into the high-rise dam here. So again, kind of similar here. Supercells start to blow up across western Oklahoma there. Be moving to the northeast there. It kind of brings in the severe threat across the Arctic region. You can see some thunderstorms there. And then we'll talk about the next day there in a little bit. So let's take a look to the superset composite values. You can see here the numbers are going to be quite high. See, some of its highest numbers is actually going to be across kind of along the Oklahoma-Texas border. If I can get those numbers here. There we go. So let me show you guys here, these soundings here. More like the last time I checked that there was a cap. And I'll show you guys what a cap is here, if this will load in really quick. Yeah, it's a little bit weaker, but the cap is still there. A cap really is here of what you can find on the forecast sounding is when the yellow dotted line, And also your red line. Your red line is your temperature. I believe I kind of forgot what your yellow dotted line is, but when they cross over each other, that's a cap. That means those clouds and stuff like that won't even get passed through it. There's kind of like a layer up there where the clouds can't really pass to try and develop to thunderstorms. So this here pretty much prevents thunderstorms from developing, to put it in that way. Although you can see the photograph is actually pretty favorable for tornadoes, so that's a good news that the cap's gonna be there. Also, there's gonna be tons of wind shear, 39 knots. That's a lot of wind shear there as well. If the cap breaks, if we get a supercell, the chances for a tornado will go up. So yeah, on that, you can see it'll likely die down. You still get decent values across northern Louisiana too. You can see the threat increases again as it moves further east, especially across Mississippi here, showing some higher values there. Which we'll take a look back to the SPC. And let's take a look to tomorrow. So we got pretty large margin of risk, which includes pretty much the southern half of Illinois and Indiana, far southwestern Ohio, central and western Kentucky and Tennessee, northwestern Georgia, back down into central Louisiana, and pretty much most of Alabama and Mississippi, and far eastern Arkansas as well. All Pretty much all the threats are on the table. You can see the tornado threats a little bit low end there. Damage winds would be there. I think they're kind of downplaying the hail threat for a little bit because those winds at 500 millibars at the temperature still gonna be very cold, which I'll probably show you guys uh, actually right now. So show you guys what I'm talking about here. So we use the NAM, which is actually currently updating right now. So let's move on to 12Z. We'll go to 500 millibars. Take a look at the temperature. And really, around negative 15 degrees Celsius, that's already cold enough for some hail. When those thunderstorms really start to build up around that point, get that high there. If we kind of get to a forecast ending back real quick, let's get one across central Oklahoma here. Now, let's see what this is going to look like here. But anyways, kind of going back here. Generally, negative, probably 15 degrees Celsius is favorable for some large hail, depending on if thunderstorms can get that high to the atmosphere. I mean, negative 42, 23 degrees Celsius, that's very cold up there. So we'll see what the sounding shows. So, yeah, you can see thunderstorms can get above 500 millibars, which is right here. That's your 500 millibar line. So, for any thunderstorm that can develop in this region here can produce some large hail. You can see there's an analog that's been picked up with 2.5 sized hail in diameter there. So quite interesting there. Also still got a decent photograph there as well across central Oklahoma there as well. So that's what I mean by the hail threat. You can see there's still quite cold values here. I mean, you'll have pretty much at this point here, your cold front will be across, you know, uh, west central Kentucky, kind of getting into central Tennessee, then back down into around northern Alabama, into central Mississippi here. That cold front's along there. You still got very cold values here as well. If thunderstorms can't get that high as well, we could see some large hail. But yeah, on that. And we'll kind of talk about uh, tomorrow. So this is the high-res NAM, and this model doesn't do that great at picking up thunderstorm activity, but it's not this batch here. It is not this batch, it's actually this right here. So we'll have a broken line of showers and thunderstorms along the cold front. You can see some thunderstorms here, producing heavy rain. If they can get high as 500 millibars, we can see some hail with them. And really, generally, the primary threat with these here will be damage and wind gusts, as well, especially along that front there. We can see some damage and winds, probably winds of above 60 miles an hour at times. And Some of these models are probably kind of downplaying, probably underdoing the intensity of some of these storms here. So, yeah, on that. Tornado threat may try to stick around as far east as central Kentucky and central Tennessee. We're going to see about that, but again, a high risk NAMP doesn't really do a great job with that. Let's see what the new run of the HER shows. So again, you'll have a big massive rain kind of coming through here. And look what I was talking about here. This is actually the new HER run. And the models are actually a little bit faster with this front here now like it was before. You can see here. Now if this verifies here, the severe threat will probably be higher at this point. You got thunderstorms that'll be, developing, can become potentially supercells. So you can see there's one of these black shades there that can indicate some perhaps a supercell there. And some of these storms actually has supercell characteristics just by looking at this image here. See, that could be one right there, one there. There could be one right there. So keep in mind the tornado threat would probably still be there as well. But that's something quite interesting here. And this is definitely something we're going to be watching. If the models trend towards this solution here, of like the HER is showing, we'll probably get a slight risk upgrade. Probably across central Tennessee and Kentucky, probably up into southern Indiana and southwestern Ohio as well, if models trend towards this solution here. Now I can't again show you guys the soundings because on the website here it doesn't allow me to show the soundings. I mean I could go to a different website, but that'll take a little bit of time. You can see with the superset composite, you can see still got pretty decent numbers here. I mean, I know it kind of goes off the screen, but I'm pretty sure it's probably favorable as it is up here as well on the front. You can see there as well, pretty favorable numbers there for supercell activity. If we look to the significatoria parameters, basically, if it's over a 1, you kind of have a tornado threat. You can see here for the numbers do double that as well. But keep in mind, it's not completely, guaranteed. That means it's favorable for tornadoes as well. Let's actually very quickly try to get to the HER model, see what it shows here. And severe weather. We actually got some more stuff on this website. So we'll take a look on here. 18Z. Try to get this done very quickly because I'm sure most of you guys probably want to know the winter storm. So I'll try to get this done quickly here. So see here again, not this batch of rain, which is also interesting enough, it kind of dies out. That's not a good sign if you don't want severe weather. That can make conditions a little bit more favorable for some stronger storms here. Doesn't look like it does all when I go to the event, but you can see your cold front's actually right here, there as well. So take a look to the superset composite. We'll get at least one sounding off of this here. All right, you can see those numbers start to increase as it goes further east. Let's go to, uh, there we go. So we got numbers as high as a 6 here. Oh wow, the photograph is actually pretty good. And keep in mind, there's also a lot of wind shear. I believe there's more wind shear tomorrow than there is going to be later this evening. So yeah, if we get more instability within that strong wind shear, that's going to be a little bit concerning. You can see here another good photograph there as well. So we're going to see what's going to happen here, see if this will verify or not. But either way, there's still going to be a severe threat tomorrow. Alright, sorry guys if that took a while, but there's a lot of stuff usually I talk about in severe weather. But let's go ahead and move on to the potential winter storm that'll be going on in the Ohio Valley. So we'll look at the GFS, the Canadian, and the Euro. So we'll pass that severe weather system there. So it's really going to be starting early next week. A surface low will start to develop around Louisiana here. We actually got a separate jet going on here, so it's bringing in some moisture, your polar jet is actually right along here. And you can see here. Here comes a big time cold front here. This is your polar jet stream. Got your severed jet right here. Got a low pressure system serving Alabama. And when they start to interact, this low pressure system will go insane. And bam, there you go. Even back down to the Tennessee Valley, you can see some heavy snow. And this will likely change, just to keep in mind that. And this is what we kind of call a bomb cyclone here, where it drops, many millibars in a short period of time. You can see here, 997 millibars here, uh, Monday, 7 a.m. of next week. Then you go to 1 p.m., it's down to 988. And you go to 7 o'clock, 983 millibars. Yeah, that's pretty big pressure drop in a short period of time. So the potential is there we could see a bomb cyclone. Well, a little bit of a bomb cyclone here. If it's verified here, we could probably potentially see near blizzard conditions on the wintry side here. And it can also be very windy on the eastern side in the warm sector. So that'd be definitely something we need to watch here. And this shows an Appalachian runner here too. This is what we usually call an Appalachian runner. And usually for people that are kind of along and west of the Appalachian Mountains, this is a really good winter storm. And for winter lovers, like me, that's west of the Appalachian Mountains, this will be pretty awesome. And then it kind of stays stationary. Well, not stationary, but kind of gets a cut off a little bit there. But some snow will try to linger over the next couple days there as well. So that's the GFS there, which will go throughout the entire event and take a look at the snowfall totals. You can see here, even up across northeastern Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania, some areas could see possibly 20 inches of snow. Now, again, this is, a little bit far out, so this is likely going to change. It's too early to really put out a forecast on these snowfall amounts here as well. Just to keep in mind of that, even down around the Smokies could see a lot of snow. Looks to be possibly 7 to 8 inches of snow, potentially there. Let's look into the Canadian model. You can see here, it's actually very similar to the GFS here. Although it has a low pressure system a little bit stronger, you got a very similar setup here. It's got a lot of snow on the back side there as well. So generally very similar to the GFS. It's also showing higher snowfall totals here. Maybe overdoing it a little bit. You can see some areas try to pick up. Man, this model is showing in the Great Lakes region. Man, that's a lot of snow. 3 feet. That's a lot of snow. And generally, it's 15 to 20 inches of snow here across West Virginia, Western Pennsylvania, and northeastern Ohio. So, but I think the Canadian model may be overdoing the snowfall amounts, but yeah, on that. Let's move on to the European model. It shows the same system, but kind of has it in a different placement here. So there goes that low pressure system as we kind of move on later down the road. Here's your low pressure system. The difference about this here is it's placed further to the west. If we move on to another frame, you can see here some sleet and snow trying to get mixed in across southeastern Missouri, a decent chunk of Illinois, southwestern Kentucky, and eventually getting into Indiana and Michigan here as well. But it's pretty similar setup here. You can see it's off the screen there, but really the only difference here with the European model with the other two, it's further to the west. And he's even trying to pick up another winter storm there, but the other models disagree with that. Let's take a look to this on a different view here. So here you go. You can see if the cold air can really get in here, like, I mean, if this transitions over to snow right in here, I mean, that would be very heavy snow. If you can imagine that across portions of Kentucky there. But generally, you can see a lot of snow on the western side of that low pressure system. If we actually take a look to these winds here, likely overdoing the winds here. Some of those higher elevations picking up 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts, generally 55 to 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Probably overdoing it, but to really make this considered as a blizzard here on the backside of this low pressure system, you really need, I believe, over 35-mile-an-hour winds for a certain period of time to be for this to be considered as a blizzard. Which European model does kind of get close to those dynamics there a little bit. I mean, sustained winds 18 miles an hour, but some of those wind gusts there could be up to 45 miles an hour on the backside. In the GFS model here, you see placed further east, probably underdoing some of these wind gusts here, especially with those isobars being very close to each other. The isobars are these white lines here. Closer together, the stronger the winds are going to be. So you can see wind gusts probably 35 miles an hour. Could be a little bit more realistic, but with a system like this, probably underdoing those winds there as well. And so I made a map about this system here. Now, this is unofficial forecast here. It's very unofficial here, really. But now this is for areas that are in the blue. There is a chance you can see a winter storm here. That's kind of what like the European model show it. We'll watch the trends with that, see if the models will go along with the European model. But what the better agreement here for the better potential for a winter storm would be areas in the pink. That includes East, Central, and Eastern Kentucky, Northeastern Tennessee, eventually getting into Central and Eastern Ohio, West Virginia, then eventually up into Western Pennsylvania and Southwestern New York state as well. So areas in the pink, you guys for right now have the greatest potential to see a winter storm. Now we're still far out, so things can still change as well. So just to keep in mind of that there as well. Now before I end this video, I want to show you guys something very interesting that was getting picked up by the GFS ball here over the last several runs here. Something just showing this for fun. It's not showing this now, but just want to show you guys just for fun. If I play this out, yeah, that's a cutoff. That's a very strong cutoff flow there. If I verify this, there could be a lot of snow across Kentucky and Tennessee, Indiana, parts of the surrounding regions as well. But just showing that for fun. It was showing that for the last several runs, but it's now completely gone. If we go to 12Z, you can see it's completely different. So, yeah, on that. That's something I want to show you guys that's a little bit interesting. The Canadian model was also showing it as well, but it's also gone. So, yeah. Will it come back on the models? Who knows? We'll see about that. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.